Hi, I'm Seth. I talk Star Wars with this man.
All right. We are back to talk, it's Halloween in February for us.
Yeah, I remember you explained to me what the concept behind the Tales of
Yeah, I forgot
series
that they
with Star
don't
Wars
I
was.
forgot that they don't take place specifically in like the location, that it's very much a we just tell stories that are scary.
Yeah,
And they just
I was told that this would be tales about how scary the Rancor Pit
but
was.
no, it's tales of just of
I was lied to.
it's just tells around a Rancor pit
Yeah,
that they're still scary.
they are.
Um So, besides that, though, we got some Star Wars news.
Yeah, we
Um,
have a little bit. Just
Sorry,
a
I'm
little bit.
I'm multitasking a lot.
Oh, yeah?
Because I forgot to do the thing where I share that we're live.
Oh.
Yeah, but
Well.
that's fine. Let's talk. Speaking of comics, though,
Mm-hmm.
we got a comics crossover coming up.
Doing.
Well, we got one that's going on right now, but we got another one that's been announced for summer,
Mm.
and it's apparently what we were told about in Revelation.
Oh, the first it comes for the metal, then it comes for the muddle, then it comes for the mind.
Yeah,
Where, uh,
that droid is coming back.
yeah,
That
and ascendant tech,
yeah, and Ascendant Tech and all that scary, all the scary shiz.
yeah,
Um,
all the things that I am a little bit concerned about
yeah. So
because of.
I forgot that that was where this was going.
Oh yeah,
Because I was thinking, okay, I was thinking the big finale of the comics was gonna be the the Hidden Empire storyline that's going on
Mhm.
right now, and that that was just gonna be a thing that happens during the Hidden Empire run, and that was
Yeah.
gonna be connected. No,
No?
this is its own crossover event.
Oh boy.
Because it's not happening till the summer,
Oh.
and we're already halfway through with Hidden Empire, because issue 3 is already out.
Hmm.
So I forgot.
So everyone's meeting up again.
Yeah. And it's like, because the Hidden Empire one. So I will say Crimson Reign, which we read Crimson Reign already.
Yeah.
And Hidden Empire have been kind of disconnected a little bit more than, say, War of the Bounty Hunters was.
Yeah.
Because War of the Bounty Hunters was definitely like, okay, where it was one where you definitely had to read all of the stuff that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Crimson Reign definitely wasn't. Especially on the Afro end.
Yeah.
The Afro end, if you were reading Afro, you didn't have to care what was going on with Crimson Reign.
No, you didn't.
And Bounty Hunters was probably the most connected. Star Wars was also connected. The mainline Star Wars comic was also connected because they had Kira appear.
Yeah.
But Darth Vader and Afra were kind of just there.
They're doing something.
Like, they were doing stuff that was connected, but it wasn't like directly connected the same
Yeah.
way as Bounty Hunters in Star Wars was. Because Bounty Hunters was directly connected with Kira, kidnapping Kadira. Yeah, Kadira is the name of the girl?
Is it Cadelia?
Cadelia.
Hmm.
That's the name of the girl. So, like, that's directly connected.
That's right, Valence. I stole your kid.
And I'm also going to teach her to be just like me. A badass, girl boss. We're going to gaslight, gatekeep, and girl boss. Honestly, though, that is Kira's mantra.
That might as well be.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. That, if anybody in the Star Wars universe has that mantra, it's
I
Kira.
like how everyone is like, we want to trust Kira,
but we also
know
don't.
we can't.
And what's great is, like, in the case of the Star Wars comic, they at least have two people who know her, who can be like, yeah, don't trust her. Because you have Lando and Chewbacca.
Yeah.
In the case of the rest of the comics, there's really nobody that would know her.
Yeah.
I could see Sana maybe knowing her.
Yeah, I could believe that.
It's weird that they haven't met. Because in the Afro comic, I think they finally meet recently.
Yeah.
And, like, it's weird that they haven't met, because they have the same circle of, like, people that they've run.
Is
that
it a
they've worked
case
with.
of like,
I've heard of you, but I don't.
but I've never met them?
Yeah.
Like, it's like every time
I mean,
they come into the office, they're never there.
I mean that happened with Han and Afro.
Yeah.
Like, because they both dated the same person. They both dated Sana at some point.
Yeah.
So like, they heard of each other, but they didn't like. They never
We
like.
never met.
Yeah. Until they met like in the 2015 comics during the Vader Down crossover, because there was a even in 2015 they were trying to do the crossover events, but back then you only had the Star Wars comic and Vader comic, so you didn't have to work as hard to do a crossover there. Now you got like 4 different comics that you can cross over, and hell, I think they're doing a great job of doing some High Republic crossover with the Star Wars comic, because currently they're in no space.
Oh boy.
In the Star Wars comic, and they're trapped in no space because
Oh no.
you can only get out with one of the special Nihil. You know,
You need a path engine.
you need a path engine. So,
and a path.
and you need to know that you need a path engine as well. You also need to know that you need it, which is the other issue. They don't know that. They have one. They don't know that's how you get out. I mean, but thankfully there's a whole society that's been stuck there for 200 years. That's been like, you know,
Just hanging out.
yeah, like there's enough of a society there that they can work it out. Yeah. But yeah, so this droid is definitely going to be the big bad of this.
Well, yeah.
What's his name? Sigma or something?
Oh, the one that's
Ajax
like
Sigma. Yeah.
Oh, the one that's like, man, I sure do love
killing Jedi. Yeah. Ajax Sigma is going to be the big
Yeah.
bad for this, and I think he's gonna, because Afra's building up to it. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna connect with
Yeah, that's what I would expect to happen.
I was just reading Afra. What's it called?
The Spark Eternal?
Yeah, the Spark Eternal. Thank you. I think Ajax and Spark are gonna. No, like combine.
Oh,
Like they're gonna butt heads and
I
combine.
was going to say fight.
I mean, they could probably fight because they probably both I think their goals are similar, but in a in a way that's gonna cause like confrontation. But we know at the very least Luke and Ajax are fighting
Oh, yeah.
because we saw that in Revelations.
Yeah, he's like, Luke showed up and was like, hey, man, why'd you kill all these people? And Ajax is like, I felt like it.
What's weird about this? They're only promoting this as a 4-series crossover. This could easily fit as a 5-series crossover because they say it's Dr. Aphra, Vader, Bounty Hunters, and then the mainline Star Wars.
Yeah.
This could easily lean into a High Republic crossover as well, because you could show what happened in the High Republic era with Ajax.
You could.
And while, yes, it wouldn't be a direct crossover, it's a crossover in like that way of where you're telling the same story that's connected.
Yeah.
You could easily make this one of the most ambitious crossovers ever if they wanted.
I think.
And I think it would work.
I can see why they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, but also right now, I think the High Republic comic is busy trying to explain the Battle of Jeddah more.
Yeah, the High Republic is like,
We've got our own problems.
we have our fucking problems. I don't know if you know about these assholes that aren't going to be around in a couple 100 years.
Another thing, though, that it is a crossover with,
Hmm.
and I'm going to spoil something for you here.
Oh, yeah?
It's a crossover with the Han Solo and Chewbacca comic.
Oh.
And actually,
Well, it would
Revelations
have to be.
Revelations already revealed
It
it.
would have to be, because that's...
You don't know why.
Well, no, because they have the little orb thingy. His memory core.
Oh, yeah, because
Because
Revelations...
they're the ones that buried it.
So, spoilers, I guess, for Han Solo and Chewbacca. So, you know that thing where they keep saying we're getting these ashes?
Yeah.
It's not ashes.
Oh.
That's the memory core of Ajax that they're all fighting over.
Oh. Okay. But
Yeah.
why would Jabba want that?
Ain't that the big question? That's the question Han Solo and Chewbacca comic has not answered yet. They're like, why would... Then again, he's also a crime lord, so like...
Yeah. But more specifically...
maybe he thinks Killdroid good.
But more specifically, why?
I mean, he has kill droids that work for him already, so why not add another one to that list?
Yeah.
I mean, because he's already got IG-88.
Hey, IG-88.
I'm looking for your replacement right now.
Yeah.
Now for IG-88 to go into another self-existential crisis.
It's like, damn. Got my ass whooped.
I lost to Vader. Now I'm being replaced. Existentialism at its finest.
Yep.
Poor War of the Bounty Hunters IG-88.
Yeah,
we
he
will
got
never
it
let that go.
bad. Vader's like, I don't know why everyone thought they could pull up on Vader at that moment.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm excited.
Actually, never mind. I forgot the man's in a walking ICU.
I kind of like that we're getting more and more of these nice little crossover events. Like, I think we can slow them down a bit because they do feel frequent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even for Marvel comics, this is frequent for crossovers.
Yeah.
Like, Marvel loves their crossover events. Like, even in non-Star Wars properties. But then, we're not even done with Hidden Empire, and we're already announcing the next one. And I feel like by the time we're done with Hidden... Let's see, next... I'm looking at Star Wars Newsnet right now.
Mm-hmm.
Next Han Solo and Chewbacca comic is in March 1st. So, next within less than a week. Because we're near the end of February. We're that freaking close.
All right.
I mean, it's going to be the Wednesday of this week. Upcoming week. Which we're also getting Mando.
Mm-hmm.
That day. Mando starts back up. And Bad Batch, episode 11.
The series that... Man, Bad Batch.
Yeah, we've been watching Bad Batch, so that way we're ready when it's time to do the review. And Bad Batch has been interesting, but also depressing, man.
Yeah. I guess it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, now that the kids are all grown up, having watched, like, the Clone Wars, we can hit them with stuff like Rebels and the Bad Batch, where it's like...
And while I think both are still age appropriate. It's like, if you're an adult, you are like, oh.
Wow. Jesus.
Like, there's stuff that you as a kid might miss, but on a rewatch as an adult, you're like... I think Clone Wars also had that.
Yeah, it definitely has some, like, very much adult moments of, like, now that I sit here and look at this, that was kind of messed up.
Yeah. I'm looking right now at the release order for things before we jump to our next...
Yeah.
Because once we jump to it, we're done with comic talk until the review, so I just want to kind of double-check when Hidden Empire is supposed to end. Oh, yeah, and then we're getting Darth Vader Black, White, and Red soon. Which is another Vader comic, which apparently people are already selling eBay copies that they don't have yet, where they've, like, they pre-ordered issue 1, but then they're upselling them on eBay.
Oh, of course.
And it's like, bro, that's an issue 1. Realistically... Yeah. Realistically, issue 1s of comics... Here's a little factoid for you comic collectors that try to try to flip comics real quick. Issue 1s are not worth as much as you think they are. Because everybody buys issue 1s thinking that they are worth what you think they are. And you know what that does? That devalues it.
The power. Oh.
I'll look into it. Ammo.
Okay.
Most people don't do the free sounds though on Twitch, so usually they cost bits. Where was I? Yeah. But yeah. So let's see. When does Hidden Empire end?
Oh, we're looking at the timeline.
Well, I'm looking at release. I put it into the release order, though.
Okay.
So, January, March, and April.
Okay, yeah.
That makes sense. Because if 3 came out this month, then we get 4 next month, and then 5. So that crossover ends in April. So that gives you maybe a month break of no crossover event. That feels fast to go to another crossover event to me.
Yeah. Could be.
What? I don't know what that one means, but I have the PC because I'm running the show from here.
Nah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
The reason why is because he is more technically proficient than I am.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and I'm also the producer as well as the co-host.
Yep.
So somebody's got to produce, and we don't have a third guy producing behind the screen, so it's going to be me.
That's it. That's why.
Yeah.
To answer that question.
But yeah, so that's comic talk.
Yeah.
Unless you had some other things you wanted to talk about.
No, not really. Apart from the fact that I'm going in for season 3 on The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah. You're going in for season 3 with no context of seasons 1 and 2, but you got Book of Boba Fett context. So you got some context.
Yeah.
You at least know how Grogu got back with Dad.
Yes, and that he
left school.
Yep.
Played hooky to join up with Dad.
Yep.
The oldest / youngest dropout ever of school. Because he's 50, but he's also like a kid for his species. So he's the oldest / youngest dropout ever. Because he's like a toddler still, but he's also not.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
And last piece of news.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was another piece of news that we could have talked about, but we kind of were like, that's still a rumor.
Yeah, we'll wait and see.
I'll say that the rumor does involve Book of Boba Fett, though.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still rumor, so I didn't want to spread it yet. In terms of actual news, though, that we got confirmed, Lucasfilm confirmed, Star Wars Celebration confirmed that they are not doing Celebration next year. They are skipping a year, which it's been a minute since they've skipped a year. They've done it before, because usually they try to save celebrations for, like, big years. But ever since Disney's had control of Celebration, it has been consistently every year. But they're skipping a year, so that way they can hit the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
Because next year there's nothing major in terms of coinciding years.
Yeah.
Like there's obviously you could there's no major movie coming out, so there's no as far as we know yet. So no reason to push for a Celebration. And honestly, the only things that are coming out consistently are like stuff that are part of the Mando and Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni projects, Bad Batch, stuff that we know are coming out anyways, and we're gonna get trailers for anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
it's
stuff.
like we're just gonna skip this year.
Yeah, which that makes sense. They don't need to worry about
Yeah.
It'd be different if they were concerned about oh no but yeah.
All right.
So yeah, next it'll be not next year, but the year after.
Yep.
And I am still predicting Orlando as the location.
Watch them be like.
Watch them go to Chicago and skip Orlando.
Watch them go to somewhere outside of America.
No, it's gonna be Orlando or Chicago, but because they do the rotation.
Yeah.
And I've seen the rotation that they do. It's Orlando, Chicago, Anaheim, Europe, and usually London for Europe.
All right.
And so Europe is this year, so it's time for Orlando. And I haven't gone to a Celebration since the last Orlando one.
Mm.
So do Orlando so I can go to Celebration. And I can see my friends that are on the internet. Because I want to see my internet friends. I want to see my fellow content creators in person. Because, Celebration is really where the content, that's where the Star Wars content creators meet and greet and hang out. Because they're like, hey, we've only talked to each other on, TikTok and YouTube and Discord.
Yeah. Can we talk about something real quick?
Yeah.
About how...
I went gangster for a second. Is that what you were gonna bring up?
No, I was gonna say how like it is weird in that I never talk to people on any of like the channels that we visit.
Yeah,
Like,
but like
I'll,
you, like
every once in a blue moon, I'll say a sentence or two,
yeah,
but then it's done.
yeah, yeah. You don't even join us for movie nights, you
Uh,
jerk.
I joined once, and then I was like, "All right, I'm out."
Yeah, last night was good. We watched Cars 3,
Oh yeah.
which caused such mayhem in Cal's Twitch stream
Oh yeah.
because so you know Matt, he's our top boy here on the Twitch side.
Yeah.
Because he's our subscriber. He's a good buddy of mine from the Cal server.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes cars and the Cars films. Like I don't know if it's the meme of the Lightning McQueen stuff or if it's like legitimately he likes the films. It's probably a combination of the two.
Yeah.
And I like the Cars films. I think 2 gets a bad rap. It's still a good film, but it's not a good Cars. Like it doesn't hold up to the Pixar standard
Okay.
in the same way that other Pixar films do. But I think it's a fun film. Because we're doing a Pixar marathon in Sawyer server.
All right.
And we've made it up to Cars 3. We're doing release order.
Okay.
So we're almost done. So we've watched Cars 2 already, so that's why my opinion has kind of like gotten better on Cars 2 because I've watched it recently and I'm like, it's a funny film. It's not the best Cars film though. It's still the worst Cars film, but it's a funny film. Cars 3 I think is the best Cars film.
Okay.
I think it has the most heart to it, and it's also the closest to like getting the point of a race car film. Anyways, so we watched Cars 3. Matt is both watching Cars 3 with his Discord VC mic muted while playing Phasmophobia on Cal's stream with Cal and Zach, our friend Clown Baby on YouTube.
You have to multitask so hard.
And what's even better, what makes it greater is that we weren't sure if it would work because Matt's internet sucks.
Oh yeah.
Especially when he's off at college, which he is right now.
All right.
He managed to do both. And I wasn't watching Cal's stream at the time, but I didn't know that I had created so much chaos with this because they started talking about like how much. So Cal hasn't watched any of the Cars films.
Oh yeah.
So with no context whatsoever to like the events of the movies, like Matt and Zach are talking about like I'm gonna have to. This is where the show gets a little bit 18 plus.
All right.
I mean we have no filter on the show usually anyways.
We usually don't. So if you're a child watching this, go watch something else.
I'll put the little spoiler warning thing up.
Oh yeah, spoiler warning.
I'll put that up for now.
Okay.
When this is gone, if you're a parent and you have kids around, for now, no kids. But once that's gone, then you can let the kids back out.
All right.
They were talking about creating like some Cars fan fiction
Oh yeah.
of Matt, Lightning McQueen, and the ghost from Phasmophobia.
That sounds like a fever dream. What you just described.
And like this entire like and the rest of the night, even after the stream was done, like we are questioning Matt's sanity. We were like, because Matt just turned 21.
Oh yeah.
So of course everybody's like, "Are you drunk? Are you high?" Because it sounds like he's like drunk or
Little bit.
high, and he's like, "No, I'm not." But he says things that are so outlandish that he could be, and it's just like, and of course the joke is like, "No, he's just high on Lightning McQueen." He's just high on life. And of course the joke is that this is my fault because I let him watch Cars 3
How is this your fault?
because I host the movie nights.
That doesn't mean you're obligated to watch. I would know that you're not obligated to watch.
But Matt watches every night. Like he
Ah.
watches every movie night. He's a loyal customer.
Yeah.
Matt's a good friend. You're not. God, I need to not dig this hole. You're a good friend.
Oh.
Matt's a good friend. For different reasons.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Okay, I can drop the spoiler warning because we're done with adult talk.
All right.
Only for me to have to put it back up again. Because, wait, no. We haven't talked about... No, we did talk about Star Wars Celebration. That's how we got here.
Yeah, that's how we got here.
Okay. Anyways, that's it for news. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put the spoiler warning back up again because spoilers.
We'll be discussing Tales of the Rancor Pit.
Yeah.
With our favorite author,
Kevin Scott.
Yeah.
He's one of our many
favorites.
Like there are
Sorry.
we have so
that was
many...
a bold claim I just made right there.
Yeah, you said one of our favorites. We have many favorites. We do not. In fact, we don't actually play favorites. We just love like our authors.
Yeah, High Republic team. They're awesome.
So, how do we want to talk about this?
Let's just fucking talk. Let's talk about not necessarily each story, but like details.
So let's talk about the premise first.
Yeah.
So Jabba has this guy tied up above the Rancor Pit, it's basically he's doing this because this guy supposedly betrayed him to another family, to like another like gang. And this guy is like, no, I didn't do that. You got to believe me. And Jabba's like, no, I don't. And this guy's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I know you like really cool stories. Let me tell you some stories. And that's basically where this goes.
Yeah.
And that's the premise. And that's how we get to the stories. So do we want to go like our favorite? Let's go back to like episode 1 of this show and do it like where we talk about our favorites.
Okay.
So top. So obviously we'll talk about least favorite to most favorite.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually how we used to do these anthologies.
I have some unfortunate news. I don't remember what happens in the first story.
The first story is the Clone Wars one. That's about the Separatist general with the ghost robots.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah. That I was like, I don't fucking remember.
And then
what happened in that one.
Yeah. So in that one, it's the ghost robot. So I'm gonna guess that's your least favorite since you don't even remember what happened.
I read these like yesterday. I should remember.
I read them yesterday too. Yeah. So this is the one that I felt like most connected to you.
Oh yeah. How so?
Droids and having souls, and how we treat our droids.
Oh, my journey into, I guess, droids are in fact people.
Yeah. I felt like this connected to you the most. And then you're like, I don't even remember this.
Oh no, Seth's on his anti-droid thing again. So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Although I have in the past shared some sentiments about droids that I don't believe in anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is a dick about it.
Yeah, no.
Like, this guy deserves it.
He's like I'm leading these droids into war, and then I'm going to run away and also not call a retreat. I don't care.
That is the thing that pissed me off. I'm like, why are you like this, man?
That's not even a droid thing. That's just a terrible general thing.
Yeah.
Like, how are you a general in this war doing that?
Yeah. I also like how it's like, oh, by the way, I built my palace on this, like, really evil planet.
Well, no, he didn't even build it. He just took over this palace. That's not even his.
Why did you test this? A thing that everyone else in the Separatists was like, hey, don't hang around here.
Yeah.
This guy really did himself in, if you ask me.
I mean, and he basically set his death mark with his droid hate, though, because, like, it's a droid. We learned that it's a droid that's his comeuppance, which is very much good horror storytelling.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's always about the, what's the word I'm looking? The karma.
Mm-hmm.
And it should always be related to the thing that, like your karma should always be related to something wrong that you did. And in this case, the karma is a droid is his comeuppance because of his droid hate.
Yeah.
Because this droid's like, because it turns out there is no ghost.
No, he's just been
gassed.
Yeah.
He's been drugged by a medical droid who's like, I've been watching you. and I've
For
seen how
like years.
and I've seen how you hate droids, and so I decided fuck you, and I drugged you, and now we're gonna kill you.
Yep.
That's basically
That's what happens in
the,
that story.
That's the TLDR version of this story. We get a cameo from Mace Windu, by the way.
Yeah. Mace Windu's like just outside,
Slashing droids and kicking
cutting
butt.
through.
It starts off like grim though, with that clone that's like in acid, like just burning in his armor.
And it's like, oh, God.
I think this has to be early in the Clone Wars because we also get a Depa Billaba cameo.
Yep, it would have to be.
Because this is when she's probably still Mace Windu's like Padawan. Because the lineage is Mace, Depa, Kanan, Ezra.
Yep.
That's the family lineage there.
Yep.
So, shout out to Depa Billaba, by the way, for being in this comic.
Yay.
So, I mean, for me, my least favorite, because I like the droid one.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like so there's only 3.
Yeah.
Which is weird. It's really short. I forgot how short these Tales from comics are. I forgot they do like 3 stories and then that's it.
Yep.
I think I'm not as big of a fan of the Wampa one, even though I called for a Hoth story.
Yeah.
Like the Wampa one seemed like it's fine, but it's not like if we're going for scare factor, it's the weakest.
Yeah.
If we're going for a decent story in the Star Wars universe, it's fine.
Yep.
I
can believe this.
And honestly, this is one of the out of the 3. This is the one. That's not true. The Ty York one I could believe happened as well, but this is the one that I believe the most could happen. Like I could believe this is canon. Like that. Like that's one that actually happened. Where it's like, yeah, because nobody dies or anything. There's no like horror thing at the end. Well, there's the spider, but like, they could have killed that easily.
Yeah.
But it's the one that entertains Jabba the most. Because fuck Han.
Because he fucking hates that guy so much.
Also, Boba Fett cameo.
Yeah, he's just
at the end
hanging
of that
out.
one. Yeah. These are things I did not notice on my first read, but as I'm flipping through the comic, I'm like, oh, there's
like,
a Boba
I'm just
Fett.
hanging out. I don't have any jobs to do right now, so I'm just gonna.
So I will say that's the cool thing to go back to and read this and look for like little cameos.
Yeah, minor details.
Yeah.
I do like in the Hoth one that they're like, maybe we should go get Luke because this is some weird, creepy thing.
Also, like, yeah, because like, who knows if it's a Force thing or not? Let's go get the guy that deals with magic stuff.
And they go,
nah,
we don't need to do that.
We don't need magic, boy.
And they're right. They didn't need him.
Yeah, they took down the Wampa.
Yeah.
Well, they took down the snake.
Yeah.
Because so in the Hoth one, it turns out
let's call those what they are. Those are dragons.
They can't fly.
Counterpoint. They can breathe fire.
Yeah. Well, at least one of them can.
They live in a
cave. The other one breathe fire? Because there were 2.
There are 2. When the second one showed up, I thought, it's a good thing that you survived this.
Yeah. We don't see the other one breathe fire, but we see the one Han takes on. Calls it a slug, too. So, which, I mean...
I think he just dislikes slugs.
This was an opportune moment, I think,
mm-hmm.
for them to do a little indie wink and nudge. Why did it have to be snakes?
They could have done that.
Kevin, you missed your opportunity. I love you, but you missed that opportunity.
Yeah.
That would have been a good little wink and nudge, especially since it's not a the outside story is canon. The guy telling the stories to Jabba, that's canon.
Yeah.
But the stories themselves are not. They are left to your interpretation of did they happen or are these just ghost stories?
Yeah.
And I like that little like type of playfulness in these comics. That's what I like about this is that these are like they could have happened. I mean, that's the fun thing about a lot of the short story anthologies that we have done, like
could have happened,
like the Tales of Jedi and Sith.
Yeah.
That's in the similar vein. Although I argue Tales of Jedi and Sith is more like these are directly canon
Yeah.
stories.
You're
But
right.
we've had other anthology books, the ones that George Mann has written, because George Mann has written a couple that are like these are straight up just legends stuff, like within the universe of Star Wars. These are bedtime stories that you would tell your
Yeah.
kids, or spooky stories at a campfire. You know,
Tales of Jedi and Sith has
yeah, that one's the
a
most like
great moment of Yoda showing up to Sidious to trash talk him.
which is great that that's canon. I love that that's canon. Uh, whereas these are more like they could have happened, but we're stretching the details.
Yeah.
Like, was there one snake or two?
Well, there's
I
in
mean,
that short story,
and-
there's two.
But I mean, like, and did the storyteller add an extra snake to make
Yeah.
it more interesting, or did that's the things that we can play with in this in this comic, and I like that. I like that idea. And that I guess I like all three of these stories.
Yeah.
It's just I think the Hoth one is the weaker of the
Okay.
three.
Well, at least you're better than me, forgetting that one of them happened.
Even though it relates to you the most,
Uh.
which is hilarious. Like, it's the one that I thought was like, okay, this is the one that relates to him a lot. I remember reading, though, your comment for the Hoth one. You were like, Han deserved this, or something like that.
No, it's not Han deserved this. It's like, Han's luck saved him.
Oh, yeah,
here.
Han's luck saved him. Yeah. Somebody deserves something, though. I feel like you were salty about somebody recently. Oh, yeah, you said Han Luck saved him in that one. And then, of course, for the Ty York one you had, she's back, baby.
Yeah.
This is why you need to join the Discord, by the way.
Love that Jedi.
This is why
Love that not a Jedi.
love
She's
that
very insistent on that.
love that Force user.
Yeah.
That Geralt of Star Wars. except no like magic that like she didn't have to take a potion that nearly kills her to become what she is.
Nope. Speaking of,
Which it's like, are we talking about Dragon Age or are we talking about The Witcher when it comes to that? Because don't forget the Grey Wardens also have to take a potion that almost kills them to become what they are, to also fight monsters.
yeah.
Except the Grey Wardens have to drink the blood of the monsters that they have to kill. Whereas The Witcher, it's just some magic potion that we don't even know the
we put coffee,
we don't know the ingredients of.
5-hour energy,
Yeah,
and a Coke in here.
and we're not talking about Coca-Cola. But yeah, so the short story of the Hoth one was they heard a strange noise, went to investigate, found out that baby Wampas are crying because their mom is missing, and two snakes show up because it turns out one of them was fighting Mama Wampa. Han saves the day, along with
Some
Leia and Chewie
Leia and
making
Chewie
some
making-
scary noises to scare the dragon snakes away
yeah.
with part of the Millennium Falcon that they were pulling out of it
Yeah,
anyways.
because Chewie was like, we should take this out so we can fix it better.
Yeah, they were like, we don't want this anyway, so let's use it to scare the monsters
Yeah.
off. And then they're like, all right, we killed it, or we scared it away. Wampa Mama's happy. Mama Wampa
Let's
didn't.
get out of here before Wampa Mama is no longer happy.
Yeah, because Han at first thought, oh, she's gonna eat me, and she's like, no, I'm just here to. I'm happy to be with my kids again. And he's like, oh, sweet.
Sweet. Thank God. Let's leave now.
And then of course,
Because we know Wampas eat people.
yeah. And then of course for the
And the kids might be hungry.
yeah.
Get out of there.
And then of course for the sake of scare factor, as a good storyteller, there's a little cliffhanger with the spider, the Jedi Fallen Order spider.
We'll never know what happened.
Yeah.
Because
All right, and then of course the number one story for both of us,
yeah.
KL and Ty York get hired for a job
Mm-hmm.
by somebody that Ty screwed over by leaving in the past because she was a
She
was like a bodyguard,
essentially worked as an enforcer,
Yeah.
and she got tired of it.
Another Saurian to hate.
Yeah.
Like, I've only met one Syrian in canon that's good. Because fuck Kiadi Mundi. Me and the homies hate him.
Oh,
Me and the
boy.
homies hate Kiadi Mundi. It's not.
He got a bad in Order 66.
He had it coming.
Hmm.
But yeah, because the only good one so far has been the one that was in High Republic.
Ah.
Because there's the one that's friends with Creighton's son in
Oh, yeah.
Convergence.
Yeah.
That's the only good one so far. But yeah. Also, I noticed a misprint in the comic here because
Oh, yeah?
they referenced that the person that Ty works for, they say he and she on two different occasions.
Oh.
And I think it's supposed to be she because, like, the way I think they say she the first time and then they switch it and then they go back to it later in the comic. I think it's just a minor misprint
Yeah.
because they say she at first, and then when Ty runs into the other person that used to work for this person, because it turns out that
Yeah.
two people were hired for this job to take out these monsters.
Yep.
And the other person that's hired is also a former co-worker of Ty's as a mercenary
Yeah. It's
who
like-
tries to screw Ty over.
Yep.
But then in the process gets Dronal Prue. That's the name of the Syrian that they used to work for.
Yeah.
In that same frame, it goes her from the coworker, and then Ty says he, and
Yeah.
then it's goes back to she's. So like I think there was just a minor misprint there.
Yeah. I do like their discussion of it, of like this particular creature. And this one is a terrifying one.
This is a classic
And I'm
horror
like-
story.
Yes or no? Do you think I could believe that Ty York would do something like she does at the end of this? However, I don't think she's dumb enough to do that.
I don't think end of phase 1 Ty would.
Yeah.
I think end of phase 1 Ty, no. Ty during like after Temple of Monster Peak, pre Rising Storm, yes.
Yeah. Mostly because I'm like,
Because she has a lot of character development
yeah, she does. However-
because Ty is very like this Ty feels very much like
back
for
just
Rising Storm.
yeah,
Because I think Rising Storm changed her.
yeah,
I do like that this is post Rising Storm though, because there's a reference to no, sorry. This could still be pre Rising Storm.
yeah,
Because there's no reference of when this takes place.
yeah. There's no point of reference.
Sorry, I was thinking of a different comic where there's a reference.
Oh, and I realized something interesting about Ty. She addresses the smaller droid by like a nickname,
Thanks for the sub, by the way, Sonny.
but KLO3, it's always called KLO3.
Yeah, which is weird.
And I think it's because she and KLO3 get in so many arguments.
Yeah, so it's like just we're using your full government
Yeah.
name.
I don't think it's out of a place of like,
Well, I think it's a playful
yeah,
dislike for each other, but they're coworkers.
they're like, this is the job.
Because KL, Chloe, as
Yeah.
I was calling her earlier, KL is very much, this is a job, we need the money.
Yeah.
And Ty's like, I don't know if I want to do this job, though, because I don't feel good about it.
Yep.
And KL's like,
Back when she's using her stones.
yeah. And KL's like, look, we need the fuel.
And she's like, fine.
It very much reminds me,
Go on.
in Legends, it reminds me of the Shadows of the Empire character, Dash Rendar and his droid.
Mhm.
They very much have the same dynamic of Dash being like, I don't want to take this job, and his droid's like, we need the fuel.
We need the money. We
Like,
have to pay our rent, Ty.
yeah, this ship is our home. Like, we can sit in a ship that's not going anywhere, but we need it to go places.
Yeah.
Also, you need food.
And it's like, fine, I'll do it.
Um, yeah.
So the ending. How do you feel about the Zunji, the monster that's introduced in this
I
one?
like it because it's
I
very
like it.
it's very classic horror movie monster. It's a werewolf in a way, like it because some werewolves do the claw thing.
Yeah.
It's very much a werewolf story,
Yeah.
just without the ability to go back.
Yeah.
I guess a zombie story.
Yeah, that's more akin to the one I was thinking.
Like it's a mix of a werewolf zombie story.
Yeah. For me, I'm like, this is one of the ones where in Star Wars where I'm like, I can't. They're like, oh, Ty goes, oh, I thought this species was like endangered.
In
And
this
I'm like,
case,
I understand why this one is that way.
it's not even that though. She says, like, it's not even that it's endangered. She goes, no, this is about to die for good reasons, and
Yeah, I'm like, this one has to go.
and also
We can't keep this one around.
which is another reason why I don't think she did what the storyteller said she
And,
did
like,
at the end.
Plus, Jabba
Jabba
even
says, like, yeah.
hey, that's not how that story ends.
Yeah, because Jabba's like, look, I've got that Serene on my wall over there, right there.
Yeah.
So I think, because we see that,
He's like,
yeah, we see her on the wall in Carbonite. So I think,
this is one where I'm like, I think she had to take this one out
yeah,
because of the danger that it poses.
the danger it poses. Like, I bet her rocks did say, hey, I bet she did do the sun moon thing, but
Yeah.
then she went against them
Yeah,
because she knew that the consequences would be too big.
too severe.
So I think in this case, she definitely took the creature out.
Yeah, she doesn't do that for like just no reason.
No, because she does make a point that she says in the comic that she tries not to kill creatures
and
unless necessary.
We've seen that with the Gretel axe.
I mean, that's the whole. Yeah, that was the whole point
Monster
of
of
Temple
Temple Peak.
Monster of Temple Peak. We saw that she was like, oh, there's something bigger going on here. This monster is not a monster. In fact, the people are the monster.
Yeah,
Because you guys are trying to kill this peaceful creature and take its land.
it was just minding its own business.
And yeah. Whereas in this case, this is an actual threat to people.
Yeah,
And is even a threat to itself
Yeah.
to a degree. I mean, and there's in the process of like talking about like, because it's really not our place to say this creature doesn't deserve to live. I think that's the point of Ty's like whole thing.
I think it's a
Whereas
case of.
this is a case of it doesn't, because we talk like
Well, I wish it
there is no
could live.
biological.
Comparison.
Yeah, on top of that, there's nothing that's like, because for the most part, when we talk about like real world biology, all creatures have a purpose.
Yeah, this one, I'm struggling with this one.
Yeah, like what's its purpose within its, even if we figure out what homeworld it's on, what's its purpose of on that homeworld, to where like how does it impact the ecology
Yeah,
of that world? And
this one is like the ultimate invasive species.
yeah,
so it's
because
like-
it literally turns other creatures into it.
Yeah, so it's like, I wish we could have you around, but the danger you pose is too high.
Yeah. But those are the 3 stories.
Yep.
And they do not impress Jabba enough to let the
No,
Caesarean
they
live.
don't.
The storyteller gets knocked into the pit, and Jabba's like, because the
Can we
Caesarean's
talk
like,
about how he's like been strung up by his ankle?
yeah, he's been like this man, and he told 3 stories. That's impressive. This man has like all the blood flowing to his head at this point, because it's a 58-page comic.
Yeah.
Well, 56 if you take out the covers. I mean, that's, we assume a minute per page.
Yeah, like an hour.
He's been up there for almost an hour. This man's like, I don't know how Caesarean biology works, but I would assume since he's a humanoid, all the blood going to his head. That's not good. I guess it doesn't matter though, because
It doesn't matter now.
he's like, hey Jabba, so did I earn my place as like the palace storyteller? And Jabba's like, well, I like you, and I think it's impressive what you did. I like my own I like to create my own entertainment. Button. And drops him down into the pit, which we see like this really cool image of all the monsters from the stories, like trying to eat him, even though in reality it's just a Rancor.
Yeah.
So that's Tales from the Rancor Pit. That's the end of Halloween in February.
All right.
So what'd you think?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'd give it.
Even though I forgot one of the stories.
I definitely give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's a good little like fun. If you like scary, if you want a little bit of a scary story, good little quick scary stories. It takes like 30 minutes to read.
Yeah.
It's an easy read. I suggest it to anybody. I mean, plus it's Kevin Scott on top of that. Next week, we got a guest.
Oh, yeah, we do, don't we?
Yes. So next week, we are talking Master and Apprentice with Farrell Remy. So we'll be talking Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
We're pushing through. So this is the end of February. This is the last February episode.
Yeah.
We're hitting March. We're going through this year pretty quick already. It doesn't feel like we should be hitting March yet. But here's the schedule for March. So we're doing Master and Apprentice next week.
Okay.
And then we're going to be doing the High Republic Adventures Quest of the Jedi one-shot comic that's coming out.
All right.
And then we're going to be doing Jedi Battle Scars, which I've been listening to already. I've been enjoying it. So I think that's going to be a fun read for you. Cuz you like the Jedi characters from that game.
Mhm.
And then we're doing Bounty Hunters Volume 5, Raid on the Vermilion, as the last of the March stuff. So we'll be wrapping up March with Bounty Hunters comic. So that's the schedule for March at the moment, unless things go sideways, because I might have to fit a Star Wars Insider somewhere, depending when Star Wars Insider comes out, and if it's a part 1 or if it's just a standalone story. It depends on if it's a 2-parter or if it's a standalone next month.
Mm-hmm.
And if that happens, it'll probably take the place of either. It'll probably move Bounty Hunters, if anything, because right now we don't have a guest for that. So we'll probably move Bounty Hunters. We probably won't move Jedi Battle Scars.
All right.
So it'll probably end up moving Bounty Hunters. And probably it'll probably move both High Republic Adventures, Quest of the Jedi, and Bounty Hunters, because I'll probably make it the episode after Master and Apprentice, depending when it comes out. It really depends when that Star Wars Insider comes out, because Star Wars Insider never comes out like in the first of the month. It takes a couple weeks. But that's the schedule. So let's go ahead and do our wrap up then.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about Sundays.
Sunday. Oh, yeah.
Let's promote that again.
So, you can catch me and a few of our friends of the channel over on the Steam Dungeon on Twitch.
Yeah, so it's twitch.tv/ all capital Steam underscore dungeon with capital D, I think.
I believe so. Yeah.
I'll put it in the link below.
Yeah.
On the YouTube page.
Where we are playing D&D 5e game.
Yes,
Currently
speak in the mic so that way they can really hear you.
D&D 5e game called The Trials of Nebu.
Yes.
I play Simon, the Path of the Ancestral Guardian,
Yeah.
Barbarian. We have returned to the city of Goldport, and we're going to deal with its internmentship program.
Anything big happened last week? Because I know last week was the first episode.
Last week
for public.
So last week we went, and a lot of us escaped from a tomb we were imprisoned in for a year.
Ooh.
On the upside, we're all level 5 now.
I'm guessing it was a start at level 3 situation.
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense. That fits.
It was you start at the level that your subclass comes online.
Yeah, which is 3.
Which is 3 for most classes, 2 for some, and if you're really unlucky, 1.
I don't know any. I don't. I don't know any classes. Most classes,
I think
start
Sorcerer and Warlock start
Okay.
at 1.
Interesting.
Yeah. Wizards are like a 2, and then everyone else is a 3.
I think everybody should just be 3 because
You would think, right?
Yeah.
Fortunately, none of us died.
I mean, even if you start at 1, though, that's just more levels to really. I think that's more levels to work with in a way. I don't know. You're still getting all your levels, so I don't know.
But yeah, you can check us out over on Steam_Dungeon
at twitch.tv.
Twitch.tv from 5 to 7 in the afternoon, depending on whether or not we have some technical difficulties.
5 to 7 Central.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Time zones are a thing. I should probably remember that.
5 to 7 Central on Sundays.
Yes.
All right.
Now, let's shout out the Mobcast Network.
Yeah,
the people who let us come here. And
the people who let us the people who let us just kind of use the studio. They kind of they gave me a key and they just let me come in here whenever. They were like, here's a key. So let's shout out to Mobcast Network. They are a fellow podcasting group who have a couple shows. You can find them, though, at youtube.com/Mobcast Network and on any podcasting app at Mobcast Network. And if they're not on your podcasting app, just reach out to them. There's ways to do that. I don't know it off the top of my head, but if you look up, if you watch one of their shows, I'm pretty sure we say it. I should know this stuff because I'm a co-producer on the show.
Work on those shows?
Yeah, I'm a co-producer and co-host. To be fair, it's been a couple weeks, and this weekend we are not filming anything because they're at Scotty and Stephanie are at Pensacon.
I see.
Because we're not so normally we go there on an official capacity, which means normally we wouldn't have an episode today. But of our show even, because if I was at Pensacon, I couldn't do this. But this year we decided we're not going to be there at an official capacity.
Yep.
They're just there because they moderate some of the panels.
I see.
So they're there as moderators. So no filming of this weekend. But we did just have the episode where we talk about the Legend of Billie Jean, which has Christian Slater in it. A baby face, like baby Christian Slater. Like, I think he's like one of the younger cast members in that film.
So what's up with the Legend of Billie Jean?
Oh, so it's a cult movie, which is the whole premise of one of the shows that we do on Mobcast Network, which is Cult Movie Cantina, where we talk about cult movies, films that, you might not have seen that have started to grow a little cult popularity. But it's got Helen Slater and Christian Slater, no relation. And the premise is kind of a Robin Hood mixed with like a Joan of Arc type story. It's really weird.
Okay.
There's a reason it's a cult movie. But you might know Helen Slater from when she was Supergirl back in the 80s. The failed Supergirl movie. She was Supergirl. Which she did before she did Legend of Billie Jean.
Okay.
But I suggest watching it. It's a good episode. It was a fun episode. But yeah, we talk about movies like that. Right. And we also have like a cult meeting in between where we just talk about our week. So we'll do like a movie and then we'll do a cult meeting and then another movie. And then we also have Tuesdays with Scotty that we're working on, which is just a podcast that Scotty's like, I want to talk about whatever because it's his show. So we talk about whatever. We have guests on that we think are interesting and talk to them about stuff that they're doing. We've had local comic artists. We've had local filmmakers. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then so that's the shows for them. That's Mobcast. That's youtube.com/Mobcast Network and on any podcasting app at Mobcast Network. And then the people who give Mobcast Network the studio, because this is not their studio, they pay rent here, but it's like a small space within a larger building. Yes. And that larger building is Gamers and Geeks and Engage Gaming, which Gamers and Geeks is our local gaming shop here in Mobile, Alabama, right off of Howes Ferry and Moffett. And they are, they got whatever you want that's, gaming, think Magic, think Dungeons and Dragons, they also got an arcade in the back. Yep. Pay $10 for the day up front, and you get a little wristband, and then you can play on the machines with no coins or
Yeah.
or nickels or quarters or whatever. You just
Yep. You pay 10 up front.
yeah, you just pay the 10 up front, and the machines are free play. Um, and then Engage Gaming it's connected in the same building, and what they do is they're like a rental
You
service.
rent a console.
Rent a console, but you don't take it.
You don't get to take it with you.
You play
use it here.
Yeah, you use it here. It's like a arcade rent a console situation, where you pay an hourly fee, and you can play on PS5s, Xbox X, Series X. Man, they've got that next gen.
They got
there.
a few of them over there.
They also got VR. If
Mhm.
you want to play some VR for PC VR, I think they got the Oculus. That good.
Oh.
They got that good
I see.
shit. And then they've got PC as well. So if you're more of a PC gamer, they got that too. But outside of that, if you really like using their stuff, that you can also become a member. You pay a monthly membership fee, and then they reduce the hourly rate. And you can also pay like a bunch of hours at once. They do birthday events. I saw they do a little bit of everything. So I still haven't tried them out. I should, but I haven't.
Yeah.
And
I think that's everything.
yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, we gotta promote our own stuff.
Yeah.
We got our own stuff to promote. Speaking of, Moobot decided to run an ad break now. So we've got a
Oh, important thing.
before
You
I
have a hardcover, don't you?
I forgot to bring the soft covers of it. But yes, so Super World's my first novel that I made in 2017. Now has a hardcover copy. I released it this week, and because Amazon finally was like, "Hey, we're gonna allow people that publish," because I do self publishing through Amazon. They finally are like, "Hey, there's a beta version of the hardcovers." So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna get in on this because I've always wanted to hardcover my books, because it's something that I felt like it's weird that they didn't do, but I know it's expensive, so I guess that makes sense, especially since Amazon does print on demand. So there is now hardcover edition of my novel, Super Worlds, and the soft covers are linked below. For some reason, the soft cover and the way that Amazon did it is weird. They didn't put my hardcover on the same listing with the soft cover and Kindle ebook version.
Huh.
It's weird. I'm gonna have to put the hardcover link below as well. But that is now out. It's a little bit more expensive than the soft cover because it's a hardcover. Because basically they give us a minimum price that we have to put for when we sell a book, based on like how expensive it is for them to print and make it fair for us to get a decent royalty out of it. And so, because I get 60% royalty.
Okay.
And so the way that exists is that it's $15 for the hardcover. But the minimum was like $13, and I tried to do like the 5s because it's easier, like it gets attention, and that's just so it's 15.
Yeah.
It was like $13 and something cents was the minimum that they required. I honestly would have sold it for 10 if they let me, and made it the same price as the paperback, but
No.
they didn't let me. So, what else am I missing?
You're gonna sell these at $13 and you're gonna like it.
Yeah. So
I guess we should shout out to our patron.
yeah. So I was gonna say easiest way to find it, because for some reason, if you look up Super Worlds on Amazon, it hides me under like a bunch of more popular things. Because I'm a self-published author now, and even though I put Super Worlds in my keywords, it's not. You don't see it right away. I've learned if you look up Super Worlds and then Caleb Lockwood, my name, you'll find it. It'll be the first listing at that point when you do it that way. And then so that's my book. The best way to sell it to y'all is that it's if Star Wars and the Marvel universe had a baby.
Yeah, that fits.
Yeah, you've read it.
As a guy who has both played and
read. You've read it and played in a tabletop game in that universe. So it's if Star Wars and Marvel had a baby.
It very much is. I don't know how else. That's the best way to describe it.
Which it fits my personality, because I write what I would read.
Yeah.
I like
Oh,
Star
God.
Wars. I like Star Wars. I like Marvel.
Oh man,
Um,
I don't like what that implies about how I write.
I mean, not everybody does that, but I mean, you do write what you read though, because
Yeah.
you write as well, and you write like existential horror with like.
How do you feel about your place in the universe? I don't know, man.
But you also like reading that stuff because you're definitely a Lovecraftian guy,
Yeah.
like. So that fits. It fits, and I like that stuff too. I just don't feel I can write that stuff. Like it,
Oh yeah.
I've thought about it, but I don't feel I could write that stuff. I should practice though, because really that's all it takes is practicing. You know, just work towards it. I know, but yeah. Other stuff. Patreon.
Yeah.
Speaking of ways that you can get that book, actually, if you support our Patreon at the $20 tier, you get a free copy of all 3 of my novels that I currently have out.
Mm-hmm.
But they're the paperback versions, although I think we can set something up where I do the hardback for soup, because
Yeah.
we can set one up. We can set a tier up where you get the hardback.
Yep.
Maybe make that the 25 tier, because y'all, I mean, honestly, I might just put it at the $20 tier, because y'all are already supporting at this point, because y'all are already buying $20 worth every month.
Mm-hmm.
You deserve, like, if you're paying $20 a month, you deserve that.
Shout out to our patron,
Yeah,
Jennifer
shout out-
Brantley. Thank you for
Speaking
supporting
of
us.
people that, yeah,
Yeah.
she supported us almost a year now.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So you have been great. Other things you can get if you want to be on the cheaper end, which is fair. The very first tier.
understand.
Yeah, we understand. This
Life's
is,
hard, so are economics.
yeah, this is a world where I understand you might have to save up. So we still provide a $1 tier, I think.
Yeah, I think we do.
Which at least gets you access to. Let me double check. Hold on.
Yeah, make sure.
Because I don't want to lie to y'all. I don't want to lie to my audience.
Yeah. And while you're looking that up, shout out to Matt, our Twitch subscriber.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
That's another way to show support to us. If you watch us on Twitch, that goes a long way as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do have a $1 tier still. That currently gives you a role in the Discord server, the Antonio role, the Antonio tier from our the Antonio saga short films here on the YouTube page. And it also gives you access to the Super Universe Tabletop RPG. Speaking of, it gives you access to the playtest, which is I think it's a fun. I wrote it, so I don't think that's fair for me to say, but I think it's a fun system. It's been fun. We played it. We've ran it. I think it's fun when I think it was fun watching you guys wreck shit.
Yeah. Oh god, it was fun. It was also the most chaotic thing.
Oh my gosh, you and Josh butting heads is some of the greatest shit going on.
The thing is,
but it's like you aren't actively butting heads. It's just you're like, I'm just doing my bounty hunter thing, and he's like, I'm
gonna black bag this man.
He's like, I'm doing corrupt politician things, because Josh likes to he likes to play political drama. So he's like, I'm gonna do corrupt political.
I'm like, I'm gonna go find this man for his wife.
And because of that stuff, y'all just accidentally started butting heads.
I'm like,
and then Jared, oh my god, Bartimus doing his shit.
Jared, like,
I love Bartimus. I miss him.
Oh, me too, man.
But yeah,
he's like, I'm going to go and do a bunch of like shady business deals.
Yeah, but the $1 tier gives you access to that. The $5 tier lets you watch our YouTube content a week before it's uploaded to publicly made available to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And then the $10 tier gives you PDF copies of scripts for when we start making
for when we
original
start
content.
Doing that.
And that's like when we start doing original content again, which is in the works. I swear to. I'm working on multiple things. I'm working on the sequel to Super Worlds. I want to do more original content that's not just Star Wars content and Let's Plays. I want to do all that. And when we start doing that, we'll have it to where at the $10 tier, you can get early access to our PDF copies of the scripts for whatever we're making in that month. So, like, if we're about to film something, we'll be like, hey, here's the script for what we're filming this month.
Mm-hmm.
Give you a good idea of what's up ahead. And of course, scripts can change, but like that gives you like a little bit of like a for people that like that stuff, because there's people that like that little behind the scenes and reading the scripts, and because I like reading scripts, and so there's other stuff too. We got that the $10 the Toki tier, $5 the Jimmy Tai tier, which is a show I want to bring back. That's one of the things of original content I want to bring back. And then of course we got Sildenafil tier at the 15, which will. Once we start making more original content again, I do want to go back to like Wednesdays. We have meetings because we used to have those where we had like company meetings essentially, and we're like, here's what we're doing this week. What do we need to do? What scripts need to be done? That'll let you gain access to listening to that stuff. You'll be able to listen in and hang out with us at the Sildenafil tier, which is another character from another short I want to bring back, which. That's the one that I'm actually working on some scripts for still. Yeah. Because I'm working on I want to write the entire first season first. Because before I start filming it.
Yep.
Because I've already figured out some recasting, and I'm working out on all that. There's the $20 tier, which gives you access to the B9 tier.
Oh, yeah.
Which you get all, like, each of these tiers, you get all the stuff that's previously mentioned. But the B9 tier also gives you access to, once a month, I want to do a community, like, one-shot event.
Oh, yeah.
But, of course, we need people in the B9 tier to do that.
Do that.
So, get in the B9 tier. So, I lied about which tier gets you free books. The B9 tier, though, gives you access to one-shots every month. Community one-shots. So get in the V9 tier. I really want to do these community one-shots. Because, and they'd be Star Wars, of course. But we might switch them out if we get, like... Because I also like Grim Hollow. I like D&D.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll switch them out if we have, like... Because we can talk to the community and see what type of game they're interested in every month. We could go, all right, do we want to keep doing a Star Wars game? Do we want to do a D&D game? Do we don't want to do Pathfinder? Because I know all the systems for those three anyways. I also know other Star Wars systems other than Fantasy Flight. So we can play around with what we do for the community one-shot. It doesn't have to be strictly Star Wars. It's just Star Wars is our bread and butter.
Yeah.
For tabletop. So, yeah, join the B9 tier, because that's something I've really wanted to do for community. I wanted to do community one-shots for a while. And then the last tier, Sylvester tier.
Yep.
$25 a month. That gets you the 3 books. And you get them every month that you're subscribed to that tier. So you just get free copies over and over every month. So maybe you just subscribe to that once. Or you like my books and you want to get some for your friends. So you just keep subscribing and give your friends free books. And that's basically, you got $5 off on these books. Because they're worth $10 each on the regular market. But guess what? I'm still making my money. Because when you do it through this way, I order an author copy, which costs less for me to order than it does for you. Because I just pay whatever the print cost is. And basically I just get no royalties from it because I bought it at a print cost value. And then you guys are supporting me and you're getting it for cheaper.
Yay.
So everybody wins. I might bump it a little bit. Actually, depending how much the print cost of a hardcover is, I could leave it at $25. I'm gonna look right now.
All right.
Because we still got a little bit. We're ahead. We're ahead of time. This was a short episode today. Like we've only hit the hour mark like 13 minutes ago.
Okay.
Usually we're an hour and a half show anyways.
Yeah.
So we got time for me to look.
God, Sylvester Wessex, what a pompous name. Why did I pick that one?
Oh, I should drop it, by the way. It should be $14.99. It shouldn't be $15 on the mark.
Oh.
Because the other ones are $9.99. I can change that. So hold on, I gotta do math.
Oh yeah.
gonna change that, by the way, while I'm doing it. Let's see. Order author copies. Yeah, there we go. Now it's $14.99.
All right.
Let's see.
You guys can't.
Yeah.
hear
So
it.
yeah. No. So I still I could leave this at 25 and still. So honestly, yeah, hardcover copies at the $25 tier. Why not? Because I still profit. You guys, and honestly, you guys save a ton of money because y'all just saved. Once again, math.
As for why I'm dancing a little bit, you guys
Yeah, we
can't
got
hear this, but
music
there is
in the
a
arcade.
music from the arcade.
Oh yeah, y'all save almost $10.
Yeah.
So, do it. Join the $25 tier. Get all that good shit.
Yeah.
But that's everything, I think.
Yeah, that's everything.
Once again, though, shout out to our current supporters, Matt and Jennifer Brantley. Y'all are great. Love y'all.
Appreciate you both.
Yeah. I mean, Matt, you already know I love you because I say it whenever
Yep.
we're done hanging out. But I love y'all, both of y'all. I think your mom's actually I think Jennifer's about to buy a copy of my book.
Oh, yeah?
Because she saw my Facebook post of it, too,
yeah.
and she was like, hey, can you sign a copy next time we hang out?
Yeah.
Save some money. Get the $25 tier.
Just trying to sell.
I'm upselling your Patreon tier, but I'm saving you some money on the books. I'm being
You only have to do it once.
yeah. You only have to do it once, and then you can go back to the $10 tier because that's where she's at.
Yeah.
But do the $25 tier for 1 month. Go back to $10 tier, and then the responsibility is on me to then because I then use that $25 to then buy the books because the way it's got to go is I'll then buy them. And honestly, I can give them to you in person then at that point and sign them because you already wanted them signed. And then you have all 3 of my books.
Yeah.
And for cheaper.
So, I'm going.
And I honestly, I will get more money out of you doing it this way than I do if you order it through Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, the names of your books.
Yes.
To make sure I remember them.
Oh, you're gonna guess them first. Okay.
Your most recent one is Time Ninja.
Which is part of the Time Controllers book series that I'm working on.
The one before that is The Coat Wars.
Which is the first of short stories collections that I want to do between big release, like between Super Worlds releases.
All right. Technically, the playtest
That is not published.
is not published, so it doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
So that would just be Super Universe.
Super Worlds.
Super Worlds.
Yes.
Not Super Universe.
Super Universe is the RPG. Super Worlds is the book.
Yep.
Because I wanted to differentiate. Because I didn't want to confuse. Because you don't want to confuse the market.
Yeah.
Um.
So that's my fault. I got confused.
I already confused the market. I messed up.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah. So in release order, it's Super Worlds, and then it's the Coat Wars, a Super Universe short story collection. So, because the Super Universe is the brand of that universe, kind of like how the MCU is the brand for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Mine is the Super Universe. So is that I guess that's the SU.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the SSU, which is the Sony Spider-Man universe for Sony's Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
So it's just the SU, and then you have Time Ninja, which is the first book in the Time Controllers book series that I want to do.
All right.
And then, of course, there's other stories I want to do. I want to write a book. I want to write a book version of the Antonio saga because there's stuff. There's stuff I want to fill in. There's stuff I want to retcon.
Yeah.
Because
there's some confusing things.
Because they're shorts. Because they were short films that I made for college, and there's stuff I want to fill in.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's the series.
Everything.
Yeah, that's
right?
everything. Yeah.
All right.
We filled in everything that we needed to.
Yep.
So once again, we'll see you guys next week. We'll be with our friend Farrell Remy talking about Master and Apprentice. And oh boy, you have not met Farrell Remy yet.
No, I have not.
I have. And oh boy.
Are they feral and a rat?
No, but they are feral. They are feral for clones. They are feral for Obi-Wan. We are in for a fun episode.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next week. Y'all have a good one. And as always, I have spoken.
I'll talk to you later, I guess.